All right, welcome back once again to Research Fantasy Presents our favorite batters for the day. I haven't thought of a fun name for what I'm going to call this, but the gist of it is here's my favorite 3 batters for cash games and tournaments on FanDuel. If you haven't listened to my videos before, my name is Nicholas Valinchak, better known as Nick from CWE on all of your favorite fantasy sites. And our 3 favorite bats on faux opening day were Anthony Rizzo, who as of just now hits a single to drive Kyle Schwarber to second. Brandon Crawford, who had a pretty good day. I think he had a double, an RBI, and a run scored. And Jed Giorco, who has yet to take the plate, and that one was risky, and I mentioned that. So risky, in fact, he wasn't confirmed for the lineup until about 4 p.m. So this is a much bigger slate, a much more fun slate. There's really some strong options out there. I don't know how I want to do. I don't want to just do a ton of videos every day because they're obviously very time consuming. I would suggest reading the article. What I do in the article, which I post in the description, is I kind of go over my favorite plays at every position, throw out a few stacks I'm going to use, and, kind of give some strategy. Obviously, opening day, we don't really know that much. Everything we're basing our decisions off of occurred 6 months ago. So I kind of temper my expectations for what we're going to get on opening day, but stats don't lie most of the time. We will have some anomalies where things don't end up adding together, but that's okay. But one thing I do want to say is one of my favorite stacks today is going to be the Miami Marlins. I've looked over MLB StatCast data, and I'm really trying to get used to it because I want to take a more data-driven approach than some of the statistics I was using in 2016. And I think that this Marlins team actually profiles pretty well against Steven Strasburg. Strasburg is priced where he's at for a reason because he's not the most consistent stud on the mound tonight. So I think there's some sneaky appeal to running a stack with like Ozuna, Stanton, Yelich, and Bohr. Should be low owned because I think some people will see Strasburg and run for the hills. And while there's no guarantee that this stack will pay off, I do think it's got the potential to do big things because of the fact that it's kind of like a big boom or bust lineup. Okay, hopefully I can stop coughing for the rest of the podcast. The flu is definitely on its way out, but the coughing will not leave. So with hitters, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to eventually get it to pitchers once the elite guys are kind of pitching on different days, is I'm going to do things in tiers. I'm using FanDuel pricing for opening day because DraftKings, everything's kind of mushed together. There's not a lot of good data to pull from that, in my opinion. So I'm going to be giving a play under 3K, under 4K, and then obviously one play over 4K. I want to start things off today with Tommy Joseph of the Philadelphia Phillies. 7,200 fantasy draft, 2,100 FanDuel, 3,700 DraftKings. Joseph will be taking on Scott Feldman in a battle of which team is starting the worst opening day starter. Feldman is about as poor of an excuse for an opening day starter as you can possibly get this side of Jules Chasin. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. It doesn't matter because he's only going to last 3 innings tops. But what we know about Feldman is that he does deliver hard hit rates. Fly ball rates can be a problem with him. Every statistic that I've looked at on Feldman matches up pretty much perfectly with Tommy Joseph. He's a boomer bust option because, like a lot of power hitters, you're going to deal with a ton of strikeouts with the home run potential. But if I'm going to punt for 2,100, one of the top positions in your lineup being first base, I'm at least going to do so for a guy that has big-time upside. And that's what he has tonight. I think he's a guy who could definitely end the night with a home run and a couple of RBIs at the very least, can drive the ball very far and hopefully he hits it hard enough that it gets over the fence. I think there's a high probability for that. In the middle range, I'm going with Daniel Murphy, 8,700 fantasy draft, 3,500 FanDuel, 4,500 DraftKings. First or second baseman from the Washington Nationals. Pretty much my lock cash game play today, and most of the time, if they're in your cash games, you should probably consider them for tournaments as well. Murphy showed that he turned his hitting around a tremendous amount in 2016 using some of the StatCast data that I previously addressed in the video earlier. What I love about Murphy is Edinson Volquez is pitching against him, and he is not a good pitcher. He's really struggled with left-handed batters, like a lot. High WOBA to them, high hard hit percent. All these things really go a long way to make Murphy a very quality play today on all sites. Obviously, I like the price of $3,500 far more than $4,500 on DraftKings, but I will have him in a lot of spots there as well, as I'm watching the Hardy Boys come back to the WWE after must be 10 years now of absence. So yeah, can't wait to see how this breaks down. Our top hitter of the day is Miguel Cabrera, Detroit Tigers, 8,800 fantasy draft, 4K FanDuel, 4,600 DraftKings. Jose Quintana, decent to good pitcher in real life, not a great fantasy pitcher. Gonna have problems with Miguel Cabrera. There's no doubt about it. Miggy, very solid against left-handed pitching throughout his career. Don't believe he was last year. I think that was a little bit of an anomaly, at least for the first half of the season. I remember looking at that fact and just kind of wondering what in the world is going on here. But there's a lot of options to go. I like the safety that Miggy brings, the high upside. I think this could be a situation against, a pitcher that's just average, where Cabrera could, again, get the ball over the fence, have a high number of RBIs, and really take your team to the promised land in tournaments. That's going to wrap it up. Once again, our top tournament plays today are Tommy Joseph, Daniel Murphy, Miguel Cabrera. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Head over to researchfantasy.com. Sign up for our MLB mailing list. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Research and Win. And we'll see you again tomorrow.